Today we're checking out graphene wax from Renegade. This is a product Renegade was kind enough to send me to try out. Claims to provide 1 year of protection. It's saying they're combining graphene with kind of old school liquid wax technology, and that this product is going to be really shiny, it's going to be slick, and just overall all those things we look for in a product. So we're going to put it through our battery test, and then at the end I'm going to give you guys a nice summary of what I think of this product. And overall I'm just excited to try out new stuff, lots of new players. Let's see if this one's any good. Let's kick things off by testing the application. For that we're going to be using an applicator and applying 3 to 4 pea-sized drops, so kind of something like that I would say. I think that'll be fine. And we're gonna be massaging it in. And then we'll be cleaning it up with these really cool Speedmaster towels that our friends at AutoGeek sent me. Typically with a liquid, I like to spread some of it around. The instructions said to cross-hatch it. Let's see how the cross-hatching works. Sometimes it works well. Sometimes it just kind of spreads things around and doesn't work well. Let's try swirls. This one might be a product that's better to swirl than crosshatch. There is no real huge health and safety for this product. Basically, don't eat it, don't give it to kids, all the normal stuff. The instructions say it'll take about 2 minutes to haze over, and then we'll just pick it up. We're 2 minutes in, let's see how easy it picks up. And wow, that is looking very easy. Very impressed so far. It's just flying right off, that's incredible. Now, we saw a little bit of tackiness during the initial application, but it was so easy to wipe up. I think I'm gonna make a judgment call and go towards the 10 for the ease of application here. I think it's worth it. This is my gloss testing station, and here we're gonna use my gloss meter to determine if the graphene wax from Renegade has raised or lowered the gloss of the panel. Now, the panel starts off at 94 gloss units, and for every 10th of a gloss unit lost or gained, we're gonna subtract or add points. The very first thing we're gonna do is make sure our gloss meter says 104 at 20 degrees. It's fully calibrated, and we're ready to take 5 readings. For reading number 1, looks like we're gonna get 89.9 for reading number 1. Looking like 91 for that corner. 91.2 in the middle. Got 89.2 there, and 89.9 in the final 5th reading. So we've got 451.2. We're going to divide that by 5 for the average, and it looks like we average 90.24 gloss units, and we're going to subtract 94, and that means we're going to round up 3.8 points because the graphene wax has stepped down the gloss. Now, you might be wondering how that's possible. You know, we generally learn that waxes and coatings and sealants, they boost gloss, they enhance gloss. Well, the reality is this is a very highly polished panel. It's 94 gloss units. It represents a very well-polished car. And it's hard to put something on top of it to raise the gloss. And the other thing to consider is that gloss is just a factor of reflected light. This is basically measuring how shiny the wax is making the surface. And the reality is your vision, your brain perceives gloss like how warm and deep and all those other features. Real quick, I want to tell you that I have Amazon affiliate links down below in the description, and those are to the products we're testing today, as well as some of my favorite tools. If you click through and purchase anything at all on Amazon, I'll get a very small commission at no cost to you. It helps support the channel and allows me to make videos like the one you're watching today. And if you do like this video, remember to click subscribe and leave me a nice comment. I love talking to all you guys. Also, I have a link to my website down in the description, and that has a full matrix of all our prior tests. This is my UV testing station, and here we're going to use this transmission meter as well as these microscopy slides to figure out if the graphene wax from Renegade Products is able to block UVA light. Now, UVA light is the most difficult one to block because it's the longest wavelength. UVB can be blocked by glass, and UVC is man-made because natural UVC gets blocked by the atmosphere. But UVA just smashes through everything. In our case, let's start off with a blank microscopy slide to get a baseline and pop this bad boy in here and see what we get. We're seeing about 8.2% of UVA being blocked. That's the UVR number right there. And about 92.7% of visible light coming through. So R just means reflected, and it's measuring 400 nanometer, which is UVA's top end. So we'll pull that out. But now let me show you a clear coated slide. This is just some clear coat I got on Amazon. I'm not the best painter in the world, so it's not super evenly applied. but we can see how much UV it's blocking. 88.6, it's letting 90% of visible light through. Yeah, if we move it around a little, those numbers shift because, you know, there's a little orange peel in the paint. I'm not a great painter. And now let's take our Renegade Graphene treated slide and pop this guy in. And keep in mind, these slides all vary a little bit, but essentially, we're not seeing any difference than our blank slide. 92.8, 8.3, it's all about the same. So no, Renegade Graphene Wax does not seem to actually block UVA, at least not 400 nanometer UVA. It's been 24 hours and our graphene wax is cured on top of our hood, and we're ready to find out just how slick it is by testing for the static coefficient of friction. Now, without the product, we know it's a 0.38, and the delta we will get will award us the points. I'm not gonna go through all the physics of the test. If you're curious, there's a dedicated video. I'll link it in your top right corner. All right, we're gonna do a series of 5 pulls, and then we'll average things out. So 0.11 means 110 grams. I'm gonna set it back up, do one more pull. 100 grams. I'm gonna do a third pull, 100 grams again. And now a fourth pull, 120 grams. Our fifth final pull, 90 grams. This means we got a total of 520 grams. We're gonna divide that by 5 to get our average, and we have 104. Now we know the block weighs 1,040 grams. Divide that by 1,040, and we get a 0.1 static coefficient of friction. Take 0.38 and we subtract 0.1, we get 0.28. Now we're gonna use our point multiplier of 30 to multiply our delta for a score of 8.4. So 8.4 points for this graphene wax. That's a great score. It is a slick product. Now it's time to talk about the visual appeal of our graphene wax. In this test, I'm gonna give it a score from -10 to +10, and it's a subjective test of how pretty I think the product is. All I'm really doing is comparing the untreated side, which is right of the left edge of the blue tape, to the treated side, which is left of the left edge of the blue tape. Liquids are usually pretty strong competitors in these tests. They tend to come on thick and leave a pretty coat. In this case, I think it did just okay. The treated side does look a little deeper. I've moved the panel outside so we can begin the durability testing. For this test, we need to wash the panel repeatedly, give it a point for each wash, and we will stop washing once we see that the wax has failed. First, let's take a look and see just how hydrophobic our wax is. I thought the hydrophobicity of the graphene wax was just okay. There are definitely more hydrophobic products out there that really throw the water off. Now we're gonna start applying shampoo and washing, and I'm using the basic Adams Blue shampoo that I've used for years. I've used it for all the tests. I'm using the same dilution. Now we're gonna rinse the panel off. Let's spray it again and see how it's performing. Looks about the same as before we washed it. We're now 5 washes in. Let's see how it performs. Let's take a look at the hydrophobicity. I think 5 in, we're seeing a little bit of a hit. All right, let's rinse off number 10. So let's see where it's at. Yeah, I think we're definitely taking a hit 10 in. Let's keep going. Let's take a look at the graphene wax, see if it's still holding in there. I think I'm gonna call it. There's a few pockets of it still there, but most of it's clearly failed. Renegade's graphene wax, let's wrap it up. Some of my favorite things about this product have to be the slickness, which was really, really good and definitely protects your paint from marring. when you're cleaning it up. You want everything to slide right off your paint. And then of course, a very important area for a liquid product is ease of application. You know, sprays tend to all be pretty easy, but you don't want a liquid that you have to scrape up off the paint that's difficult to remove, difficult to work with. And this product was definitely an easy one to apply. Very slight tack on application, but the removal was an absolute blast. Took no effort at all. I didn't really care that much for the hydrophobicity of the product. It really struggled to be very hydrophobic and then progressively got a little worse until it was just not acceptable anymore. Now, as far as the visual appeal itself, I thought the product looked decent. You know, maybe it's my red paint. There was a slight ashiness to it, which I didn't care that much for, but I did see that extra depth, the extra interpretation of gloss, which is when you're seeing that warmth and depth on top of the paint. And it looked good in that regard, not mind-blowing. As far as UV protection, you know, I did the UVA test. I didn't really see any UVA protection. With those last thoughts, I'll let you go. Remember to hit that subscribe button, leave me a nice comment, and I'll see you again really soon with more of this kind of content.